Hi everyone. Today I want to talk about why I bought into Palo Alto Networks with the ticker symbol PANW. For those who are new to this, I had a previous episode talking about my current investment portfolio. This is my current portfolio as of yesterday. It stands at about 228,000 Singapore dollar. And this is my portfolio. I try to rearrange it based on the market value from the highest to the lowest so that it's easier to see. And I did some adjustments because I realized that in my previous video, the Amazon portion, I was counting it twice for one of the purchases. So the actual market value, the actual number of stocks I have is only 212, which is about 64K at the moment. Specifically today, because after the video the last time, I got questions about the cyber related stocks that I have because I'm currently working in the cyber industry, right? So specifically today, I want to talk about why I bought into Palo Alto Networks. I also own another cyber stock, Fortinet. I will probably share more about it in a separate video later on. So before we start, just to share a little bit, right, the nature of the cyber companies. Even though I'm working in cyber, why I don't really have a lot of cyber companies in my portfolio rather than the more general tech companies, right? Is because cyber companies are investment heavy on the R&D because of the rapidly changing landscape. It's not something like you create a software, you make it into SaaS, and then you just do incremental changes, and you still have you can still maintain a large pool of user base. I'm not saying that those SaaS companies are not really innovative, but the amount of effort needed is way higher for cyber companies because it's just really changing so fast, both from the cyber criminals and the competitors. So cyber criminals are always finding new ways to hack into things and then try to bypass the existing security products, right? So you have to keep researching. Sometimes maybe you need to spend a lot of money on specific bugs so that you know how to fix them. So a lot of companies have bug bounty programs and stuff like that so that they can actually fix the bugs and then reward the hackers for not exploiting them, right? And it eats up the bottom line, right? Because it actually its R&D cost, it lowers the net profit. So compared to other tech SaaS companies, a lot of them have pretty low net income. But for me personally, high R&D expense signals that the company is continuing to innovate and then continue to keep up with the research, which means it can still be competitive in the cyber scene because in cyber, if you are lagging behind, let's say 1 or 2 years, your competitors will very easily take over you pretty fast because things are just changing so rapidly. So that's my personal view. I mean, it could be right or wrong. So I did a quick search, right? So currently, most of the cyber companies, they are not really profitable, and Palo Alto Networks and Fortinet are a few that actually has net profit, positive cash flow. Fortinet is a very good business. I will share this separately. In the meantime, Palo Alto Networks, it's making a lot of money as well, but it has been reinvesting pretty heavily. So that's why it's kind of like eating up the net income pretty much as well. So what is Palo Alto Networks? It's a company founded in 2005, and it's currently one of the largest and most comprehensive cybersecurity companies. Most comprehensive meaning they have a lot of product lines that actually covers the different aspects of cybersecurity, right? A lot of people only know about their firewalls. They also have a lot of other offerings that actually sits in the endpoints, meaning the PCs, and a lot of network-based kind of security devices as well. And they actually serve more than 80,000 plus customers worldwide, including governments, Fortune 500, and large enterprises. They are pretty dominant player. A lot of people use it in the industry, because I am in touch with all these technologies, I also see that huge public sector defense, huge customers deploy either Palo Alto networks or Checkpoint as one of their firewalls, because most of the time these people have two-tier firewall architecture, which means they actually use two different brands of firewalls. But of course, this is actually slowly changing in the landscape, which I can also share separately about the technology aspect of it. So this is the chart for the past year for Palo Alto Networks. I just wanted to share this a little bit so that you can understand a bit about my thinking process on why I get in, when I get in, and why I think it makes sense. I could be wrong. Please correct me if you think the way that I'm thinking is wrong. You can please feel free to leave the comments. But I started looking into Palo Alto around mid of last year. So on 31st July 2025, the stock actually dived because they announced the acquisition of another cyber company, a pretty famous one as well, called CyberArk, and they are paying them for $25 billion. They're buying them for $25 billion, which is a huge sum. So because of that, I think investors are not really sure whether this is a good acquisition, is it a good value. So as a result, the stock dive. But I see that as a buying opportunity because these are like the consolidation of some of the leaders in the different categories in cyber, in my opinion. And if managed well, this can actually bring the company up for quite a bit. So I actually got in around 12th of August. I bought the stock at around $172.5, and since I bought it, it has been growing, increasing pretty well. So before that, what is CyberArk? So CyberArk is another cyber company. It was also listed. I believe it was listed. It was founded in 1999, and they are currently the global leader in privileged access management. So privileged access management is something like, you in different organizations you have access controls for different users. Like when you go to work, you can log in with your username and password on your PC, right? Because this is provided by the Active Directory by Microsoft. But for more privileged users like IT admins and managements and all these who has access to some of the most sensitive data in the environment, there's something called privileged access management that actually governs how these accounts should be provisioned, what kind of access should be given, and all these easily and then in a pretty standard way, so that there isn't like much of human miscalculations or like stuff like that, right? So these privileged access management platforms are pretty critical in many of the large enterprises and the critical systems. So among them, CyberArk is a global leader because there's almost nobody in cyber who doesn't know what is CyberArk, because they will probably have come across them one way or another. So they are pretty dominant, and they are trusted by more than 55% plus of Fortune 500 companies. That's majority of them, right? And thousands of enterprises worldwide. And why I bought into Palo Alto at this point is that there was a negative investor sentiment on the price tag paid for CyberArk, right? So it actually drove down the price, and I see that as a buying opportunity. Although CyberArk itself is still losing money, similar to other cyber companies, but we can see that the revenues have been climbing pretty steadily, and I see that they have been putting a lot of efforts into research, putting a lot of efforts into sales and marketing, which is actually a very good thing as a cyber company, although cyber is changing so rapidly, right? So this is something good for me at the moment, but I still need to monitor. And for Palo Alto itself, the net loss widens after 2020. Oh no, sorry, it's not for Palo Alto, it's for the CyberArk. They actually had pretty close. It was already close to the break-even point before 2020, if I'm not wrong. And after that, they have a bigger net loss. It is mainly due to the fact that they transitioned to the subscription model. So basically, what it means is that instead of the on-premise model where you can recognize the whole chunk, if let's say a customer buy for 3 years, there are ways that they can actually recognize it for 3 years, and then the annual maintenance they'll probably spread very small amount. So it's more of the upfront recognition in the books, rather than a subscription model, which is spreading recognition. So because you are doing yearly subscription, if let's say customers buy 3 years, you can only book for 1 year for this year's revenue, and the other two will be the backlogs that you can clock in the subsequent years. So the recognition is spread more evenly, but of course your ARR will be it's pretty easy to predict because of that. And because of that, their revenue kind of decreased a little bit, and then they have been increasing their R&D spending. So as I mentioned just now, I see that as a good sign. They also have a lot of sales and marketing costs, right, much higher, and they are one of the most dominant players in the industry, and they're still putting a lot of efforts into improving their product, which is good news to their users. So this is why I think that this CyberArk acquisition, even though the company itself is still losing money, it's not that bad, in my view. So yes, as I mentioned just now, after I bought it, from August to October last year, it has been increasing quite a lot. In fact, it actually went almost as close to like 220 kind of price point. After that, they actually had another down because they acquired another company called Chronosphere. So the previous climb was due to the fact that they published their revenues and all this, and then it was pretty good. I see that the company's revenue and the profits has been stable, and they have been climbing. So now, because of another bad news, not say bad news, it's just something that investors are not really sure about what to do. So Chronosphere is an observability platform. So what it does is it will actually observe all the different cloud instances and different infrastructure that you have deployed, and tell you if there's anything wrong, if there's anything you need to fix, so that you can do it quickly. And maybe I don't really know much about Chronosphere, but most of the solutions in this category actually also provides like automated fixing solutions and stuff like that, so that your infra is up most of the time. So this blends very well with their comprehensive cyber strategy, right? Because they are offering different categories of cyber solutions, and now they added the PAM category with CyberArk, and then now they added another observability kind of capability with Chronosphere. So it aligns very well. But because of the price tag that was provided, it was acquired at 3.35 billion, which actually was, I think, about a lot of multiple times of the revenue. So investors are not really sure whether they are overpaying it. That's why the price actually went down again. So despite the fact that it went down again, why I still hold on to it, right? So I believe that all these are strategic acquisitions, and it's not really something fundamentally wrong about the company that actually brought the price down, which and I see that even today, right, they're still maintaining the market dominance. I don't really see a lot of people trying to replace them with another brand of firewall or other products. So that's one of the reasons. And then these strategic acquisitions actually bring in new customers for them and allow expanded offering to their existing customer base. So CyberArk has a lot of customers, a lot of huge customers all around the world. So once they have finished the consolidation and all this, they can actually offer CyberArk customers more bundle kind of deal, right? And they can upsell, cross-sell, they can do a lot of things. There are a lot of opportunities there. Actually both CyberArk and Chronosphere acquisitions, although they were announced a while back, it's not finalized yet, because They're still sorting out the final portions. It already get approval, but then the M&A usually takes time. So the numbers have not really consolidated into Palo Alto's numbers. So the numbers that Palo Alto is reporting now doesn't really include their numbers. So CyberArk, it was a public company, so we can see the numbers. But Chronosphere, we don't really know what's the number because it was a private company. So depending on this, right, after they finish the consolidation, unless Palo Alto find a way to cover the gap, because CyberArk is still losing money, it could affect the results, and then there could still be a short-term pullback in my view, once the investors learn about it, right? Because it will affect the overall numbers of Palo Alto. But long term, I'm still positive about the company's prospect because, as I mentioned, they as a cyber company, they're still innovating, they're investing a lot into the R&D, and they are still having a lot of happy customers, right? So at least for now in the landscape, I don't really see a trend shifting towards people replacing Palo Alto with other things. So I'm still pretty positive about it. With that said, in cyber, the trends are always changing. The technologies that they are having, even though they are innovating, if they are not in the right track or the right direction, they could get entirely replaced by something else. It has happened to a lot of companies before, a lot of large technology companies before. So I'm still monitoring. So that is the reason why it's not really in my high conviction bracket. Not like Amazon, where I don't really care whether the prices go up and down in the short term. I believe in the business. I believe that eventually it will go up. So for Palo Alto, I'm still monitoring. It's around the medium conviction bracket for me, because I need to monitor what the trends, what's happening, and then I need to adjust my strategy accordingly. That's my view. So yeah. And with that, that's the last part, and I hope this gives you some good idea about why I held on to Palo Alto. It went down, but it's still not at the price that I bought. I might not add more because I want to deploy my capital into something more promising. This is a little bit more 50-50 for me. So with that, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you liked it, please support me by helping to subscribe and turn on the notifications. I will try to share more about my decision behind other stocks that I bought as well. Thank you so much, and hope to catch you again. Bye bye.